What's up, y'all? It's your girl, El Rochelle, the Hardwood Diva, and I'm coming to you for our NFL Week 12 picks. I'm excited because we got one more week till Thanksgiving. This is when we start really getting into the thick of things, start really figuring out who is going to possibly do what. When it comes to playoffs, we're definitely getting a really good picture of what teams are hot, what teams are not, what teams we can expect to keep moving and doing really good things. So I am excited. So first up tonight, Thursday, November 20th, we've got at 5:25 on the NFL Network, we've got Kansas City versus Oakland. Poor Oakland. Poor Oakland. I thought they had a chance this year. I really did. I'm not even sure if they're going to get a win. So I'm going with Kansas City tonight because they've looked really good. And definitely better than Oakland. So there's that. So I'm going with Kansas City Chiefs for this game. Good old Jamal Charles. That brother, man, I love that guy. I love him. Fantasy is, it's all right with me. All right, so I have Sunday games for Sunday, November 23rd at 10 a.m. We've got Cleveland versus Atlanta. At home, I'm going with Atlanta, though let's be honest, Cleveland's been kind of up and down. They play up to competition, and Atlanta just, I don't know. They don't know what they want to do half the time. They're a good team that just doesn't do well. So I'm going to go, though, with Atlanta at home. They won last week, so why not? New York Jets versus Buffalo Bills. I'm going with Buffalo at home. This is going to be a very interesting game. Buffalo is under snow. Lots of snow. A ton of snow. So we're not going to know what Buffalo is going to look like. They haven't even been able to get to their own facility. Like, it is covered in snow. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen for them. But I'm going to go with Buffalo just because they might have a little bit of an advantage playing in this insane weather. Tampa Bay versus Chicago. Chicago came out, looks pretty good last week, handled business, so I'm going to go with Chicago again this week, especially because it's against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there you have it. Cincinnati versus Houston. It's at home for Houston, so I'm going with Houston. Cincinnati did look okay last week. As long as Andy Dalton has A.J. Green, he usually can do fairly well. So he definitely came back from that poor, horrid performance he had the week before. But I am going to go with Houston in this game at home. So Jacksonville versus Indianapolis. Indianapolis. They may not have done very well versus the Patriots, but they can definitely beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's what I'm going with. Green Bay versus Minnesota. Green Bay has been dismantling teams the last couple of weeks. The definite move of Clay Thompson. Oh my gosh, why am I in basketball? The definite move of Clay Matthews and kind of mixing up his play, getting him inside a little more has definitely rattled offenses. And I think he has the opportunity to kind of shake it up for Teddy Bridgewater and this kind of young Minnesota Vikings offense. So I'm going to go with Green Bay. Not really sure how great they're going to do. But they've gotten 50-point games back-to-back this last 2 weeks. So who knows how well they're going to do against Minnesota. But definitely going with Green Bay. This is the Green Bay that we expected to see a few years back. This is the Green Bay that went to Super Bowl. So there you have it. Detroit versus New England. New England. Because they're New England. And somehow, some way, managed to win. Detroit's looking pretty good. Defense is looking really good. Offense is kind of clicking. But it's still New England. And it's at Foxborough. So I'm going to go with New England on this one. Tennessee versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Yeah, not really much of a question. They didn't look so great, but they were playing Green Bay last week. So nobody's going to look too good with that team right now. So I'm still going to go with Philly. It's at home. Tennessee's just not a very good team. I'm only going to see good teams, in my opinion, actually beat Philadelphia at this point. I think Mark Sanchez will come back and have a really good game. He was really up and down last week. Quite a few turnovers, but still did get some touchdowns in there. So we'll see. But against Tennessee, I'm going with Philadelphia. The 1 p.m. game, St. Louis versus San Diego. Now, San Diego ended on a sour note before going to their bye week. St. Louis did really well last week. They've been doing really well, but they've been doing really well at home. I'm not sure if coming out to San Diego, they're going to actually be able to do the same thing. And I think a little rest for San Diego was helpful. So I'm going to go with the San Diego Chargers. Arizona versus Seattle. Now, this game I'm kind of unsure about. Seattle, it is definitely tough for teams to win up there. Arizona is a team that, the way they are currently constructed, you would not expect them to win, but they've been winning games that they shouldn't have won all season. They only have one loss. They have the best record in the NFL right now. So, as much as I don't want to choose the Arizona Cardinals because I've never been able to truly trust them, I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals because Seattle's just internally having issues with Marshawn Lynch. When they put him in and really play him, they're successful. But for some reason, they're not. Well, I'm not going to say for some reason. I know part of the reason is just the issues of chemistry with him, the team, front office, and just his personality. I'm not sure how that's working right now. So for now, I'm going with Arizona for this one, even in Seattle. Miami versus Denver. Denver should win this game. But Denver should have won last week also versus St. Louis and didn't. So, I'm going to go with Denver. They're at home. But they really floundering right now. It's kind of embarrassing, actually. Washington versus San Francisco. There is no question I'm going with San Francisco. They are on an uptick. Washington is down. RG3 has come back, but is not at all the player that we came to see in that first year that he was there. And just internally, this organization is ripping itself apart, and I see that playing out on the field. So I'm going with San Francisco. Our 5:30 game for Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants. I am, of course, going with the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants have not had a very good season. They lose people, add people, lose people, add people. Dallas is just on a... They came back before their bye week, kind of on an uptake. I think the rest for Tony Romo was helpful. But we should expect to see a lot from DeMarco Murray this week. Des Bryant, Jason Witten, Terrence Williams. This should be a really good week for Dallas. So I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. Our Monday night game, 5:30 p.m. on ESPN. Baltimore Ravens versus New Orleans. New Orleans, not doing as well as I expected from them. They're definitely very up and down. That NFC South is up for grabs, though it shouldn't be. They should definitely be dominating because the rest of the teams look horrible, but they're underplaying. I'm not really sure what's going on. And they're not even doing that well at home. So for this one, I'm going to go with New Orleans just because I don't like picking against them at home. But honestly, if Baltimore wins this game, it would be zero surprise to me. So there you have it. Those are my picks for this wonderful week 12, our week before Thanksgiving. I can't wait for next week. I love Thanksgiving time. That's when football is starting to get into football. When you get into those late November, December games. So I'm very excited for these next few weeks that we have for football before the season is up. So if you have any questions, holla at your girl. Let me know. Comment below. Subscribe. Share the video with anyone that you know that loves football picks. So there you have it. Love you. Deuces.